Ready to confirm a starting goalie for us tonight?
Calvin's our starting goalie.
Okay, that's it, I guess.
Maybe just a thought on potential power on power. Like if they have a top line loaded up, if that's the way you guys go to, how do you feel about that matchup? I know they have last change, but strategizing, you think there will be?
Yeah, we'll wait and see what they do. We will obviously have our lineup, and they'll be able to match, and we'll see what they want to do. If they want to go top line against top line, and how top heavy is it for them, and vice versa. There's a lot of things that we have to be prepared for, and I don't think they're a team that they'll want their matchups, but I don't think they're one to hide away from it. Like, I think they feel comfortable with their fourth line playing some shifts against our top line because they feel comfortable with their depth, and we're in that same situation. Like, I like our four lines, and last series we talked about our rolling those lines and not worrying about who's playing against who. And we want to play a little bit of that same mentality of everyone contributing, everyone playing in situations, and but there'll be obviously some tinkering from them and from us, and we'll just see what they do after we pretty much lay out our lineup.
Do you have to be, careful is maybe not the right word, but you have top-end guys, and if they sense that you're moving them around trying to prevent something, or, I imagine they're perfectly fine going toe-to-toe with anybody, so you sort of balance that a little bit, letting them run against whoever versus trying to find them some space.
I don't know. You kind of have to wait and see how the game goes, and if things are going well, what the matchup is, and I think it's important that our guys have that rhythm, especially our top guys. And as a coach, you can't be jerking them around. You go out on there, there's a whistle, pulling them off, back out. I don't think any player likes that feeling. I know it is important to have matchups and guys out there for certain situations, but once the coach is, over-coaching, it makes it tough for the players to play the game. And then the most important thing is the players are feeling comfortable. They know when they're going to be out on the ice, so they know when they have to do. And if a coach is continually messing that up, I think it makes it difficult for the players to play.
Kris, as you're talking about, there will be some tinkering naturally, but it seems like the four lines that you have, there's a lot of synergy that's been created. How did it get to that point, especially late in the year? There's a lot of moving parts, and even early in the series, last one against Edmonton.
Yeah, there was a lot of uncertainty going into the playoffs, and with so many guys coming back from injuries, McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Kane, Frederick. I'm just starting, and then so them coming back, not sure when or how well they're going to play, but we weren't able to get some lines, some regularity, in the playoffs. Then we started to do that, and we pretty much had the same lines for the last two games, which feels like an eternity with what had gone on the last month of the season. And I think those guys are feeling comfortable and like who they're playing with and how the rhythm of the game's going for them, that there's a good chance we'll try and keep it as similar as possible.
A lot of coaches like pairs up front. You've done that a little bit, but do you want to try to establish some pairs if you have to switch things up? That you do have some connections being made, and you can keep some guys together if you have to switch things up, or do you?
There's definitely guys that play better together, but when you establish those pairs, I guess the bigger the pairs would be, so much is influenced with McDavid and Draisaitl, and when they are separated, it completely changes everything with the pairs. So ideally, yeah, that's good, because if you do have your pairs, the lines aren't changing up very much. They're just getting tinkered a little bit with just adding a third guy. But with the way we change our lineups with McDavid, Draisaitl playing together or not, the pairs doesn't really continue.
What do you think about, you went into the playoffs with a number one goalie and a number two goalie. That seems to be gone by the wayside. What's the plan going forward, and do you have a number one anymore?
Well, right now, I guess our number one's the guy that gets a start, but that's changing from game to game. We evaluate after every game, and I know there'll be a time when Stu's back in that net. Whether that's game 2, game 4, next round, I don't know. But I think we've got 2 goalies that can win us games, and when that changes, I don't know. But hopefully, I would like it not to change, because most likely Pix has put in a good game and we've won that game, and we would continue the same process. But I think we're comfortable with either goalie going in.
So in the playoffs, we've watched a lot of really good goalies with a lot of not very good numbers. Teams go with the number one all year, or 50-30, and then they play a guy all playoffs. Maybe is this the future of playoff goaltending? Is riding one guy a thing of the past?
Well, I think 20 years ago, it was all about one goaltender, and it started to change a little bit. And you look at the Vegas's Stanley Cup, where I think they had 3 goalies that year. I would very rarely is it one goalie throughout the whole stretch. Most teams are back and forth a little bit, yeah, we're obviously in that same situation. Last year we went to the Stanley Cup Finals, Game 7, and we needed both goalies to get us there.
Is the second round a particular challenge in terms of maintaining intensity and focus? I mean, that initial excitement of the first round's worn off. Ultimate goal is still so far away.
The second round, the first round is always... The players have waited 82 games, some exhibition games, all summer to get into the playoffs, because that is a different level. There is that excitement, and the level of intensity is so high, and you can see with the physicality. And it doesn't matter what series it is, but the number of hits is always at its peak in the first round, and then it drops a little bit after from there. I guess it's important for any team, no matter how you play or what personnel you have, is trying to maintain that intensity as much as possible. I believe with these 2 teams, there probably won't be any shortage of intensity for the entire round.
What do your numbers tell you about when Nurse and Bouchard are out there at even strength? There's some question about how those stack up, the public numbers, but the ones you guys keep, what's the picture that's painted for you?
Well, the short term, if you look at underlying numbers, plus minus, goals for, goals against, and it was, they got outscored. But if you look at, it's tough. If you look at numbers, it takes a lot of minutes to get a good picture on what happens, because there's so many uncertainties. Save percentage from the goalie, your goalie, the opposition goalie, who you're on the ice with, the competition, all that, and it's just luck. A lot of it has to do with luck. And if you look at the larger picture throughout the regular season, when the 2 have been playing together, it has been a good pair for us. And I think a lot of the goals that we got scored against, where they were on the ice for a few, and I think it was a lot more of just circumstances, being unlucky, and it's one that we feel that they can play together.
I think Pickard started your last game against Vegas in the regular season. Is that an advantage for him, or
I don't.
Depends what lens you look at it through.
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, I don't think it has much to do. It's not that Pix has more a better view on their shooters. The shooters have a better idea on them. Everyone has their pre-scouts, know what they're going to be looking for, whether from the Vegas' standpoint, how they score their goals, how our goalies let in goals. Everyone's doing their work, but maybe it allows him to feel a little more comfortable because he saw that team. But I think it's minimal.